Hi, Allan. Good morning.
Morning.
So many people give up along the way, and I know I have my struggles. Somehow you help me, and I'd like you to share again with all this lady so they can keep stay focused and reach the goal.
Good question. Really good question. 3 simple steps that first come to mind because they're super common and they work very, very well for someone who really wants to make the shift for themselves. Okay, I want to say that up front. For someone who doesn't really want to make a shift, nothing works. So the first thing is you really got to want it for yourself or first for you, for someone else. Doesn't matter how you want it. You just got to elevate your willingness to want it. And that's something that works on its own. When a person decides, okay, I really want this for myself, then here's the easy way to stay motivated. Number 1, figure out for yourself during your quiet time, whether you're sitting in front of your desk or lying in your bed or in the shower or driving, doesn't matter where, but figure out for yourself, what is the one thing that terrifies you the most if you don't gain the benefits of training, of exercise, of good nutrition, of good recovery. An example of that would be the opposite. Most people, when they think about starting off in a training regimen, they think about, oh, I'm going to be sexy, I'm going to be hot, or I'm going to, prove to this person that I can do it, or I'm going to look hot in the dress, or, my high school reunion is coming up. And then it ends there. But what they don't think about is the counter opposite, which is if I keep doing what I do right now, my bones might get really brittle. If I fall, I might break my hip. If I keep doing this now, my back ache might turn into osteoporosis. If I don't do something about this right now, I might die early. I mean, these are extremes, obviously, and that's not always the case. But what we're talking about right now is using the mind in a way where we're very aware, self-aware of what the pros and the cons are. And it takes both. When somebody loses motivation, a lot of times they're just thinking about one, but not the other. So that becomes the very first step of asking yourself, what is going to happen to me in the next 1, 2, 5, 20, 30 years if I don't take action? If I just choose to be still, just live my life the way I normally do, whatever that is for you, right? Then number 2, I'll usually ask that person to imagine, if you don't make the change, and if you stay the same, outside of you, who else is this going to affect? Are there kids in your life that are going to suffer, for example, if you don't get healthier and stronger? Is there a spouse in your life who really cares about you and you care about them? Who you'd feel devastated for if they had to spend the rest of their life taking care of you, like taking care, like in a wheelchair, in a bed, like you're not mobile or you're not strong enough to be able to do the things they want to share with you. So that's number 2. Think about the people around you. Then number 3, here's the big one that I find is big for most people. I usually add some form of public humility. I know, right? What the hell are you talking about, Allan? Public humility? Humiliation in the public? Whoa, we're talking about motivation here, sir. What do you mean? Well, guess what? Yeah, there's 2 different factors for motivation. There's usually, as Tony Robbins always says, there's usually inspiration or there's desperation, right? To be inspired means to go after something. Desperation means to avoid, like, I don't want this to happen. And funny enough, in the beginning, most of us operate out of desperation. So I don't judge on how a person gets motivated because the motivation can change, the factor can change. Getting them started, like kickstarting a car or a bike, that's my job, right? Like once they want to go, I help them find ways to go. Like, let's go, let's find a way to make it happen. But not by pushing them, but by psychologically enticing them. Public humility is something we all fear at some level. We don't like it. Why would we, right? To have the world shame us, to have people shame us, the sense of shame itself is horrible.
Yes.
The sense of public shame is death-defying. You know this, Helen. number one cause of most people's fears, number one fear is public speaking, which exceeds death. Like, people fear public speaking more than dying. Are you kidding me? Like, what? And then when you look at the background of that, it's because public speaking, if people don't like you, they'll boo you, right? To be alive and to be shamed is more painful to most people than death. So to know that, I usually ask people, how are you going to feel if all of your friends and family discover that all of a sudden you're super weak, that all of a sudden you can't operate, you can't, and I sometimes get graphic, like, because some people, they're really in trouble. Like one of my friends, he got in trouble, and I didn't know this till 8 months ago. He had a triple bypass surgery, but he's only 2 years older than me. So I'm 42 right now, he's 44. And he had it way back in like 2018. And I was like, what the hell happened? And he said, oh, I don't even know, Allan. I was playing sports with my friends, and I black out and I wake up, and it's been a week past almost, or 4 days, something like that. He's in the hospital, and they performed a surgery on him because he was going to die. And when you look at his back, he's like, I don't understand how that happened. But if you look at his life, nobody challenged him. Everybody partied with him. Everybody did a lot of alcohol, probably a lot of drugs. And again, I'm not judging. People live the way they want to live.
Yes.
Right. But when there's no awareness of how is this impacting your body, how is this impacting the longevity of your health? If somebody doesn't pay some attention to that, man, that's where we all get in trouble. And that's what I use when someone says, Allan, please train me, teach me. I don't just get into, okay, 20 push-ups. And I used to, doesn't work. Got to get it in here first, right? So to motivate people, we usually start the motivation process before we get into it. It's one of the reasons why you and I interview our clients before we start with them. Because as they're speaking, I'm listening, but I'm not directly asking them, like, what's your motivation? That no one knows. But as people start to talk about their life, oh yeah. When you know what to listen for, finding out someone's motivation and the things that drive them become much more simple. That's why asking is so important, and it's so valuable. But those are the three keys, right? In a lump sum, because I know I said a lot. Number one, find out what they're thinking about in terms of future, like what do they want? Number two, remind them, if you don't take the action, what's going to happen to you 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Number three, talk to them and remind them, how is it going to affect you when people around you are affected? And then the public knows that you all of a sudden experienced X, a heart attack, heart surgery, you can't use your limbs anymore. You got osteoporosis, whatever it is. And usually at least one of those will kick someone over to keep going, especially during the time that they don't want to.
Definitely, Allan, definitely. And for me, it was for myself at first, and then it was for my family. And then now it's for the world, how my transformation will make a difference. And again, if I'm healthier, everyone will be happier for me. And not just that, I always say the society will save so much more expense in healthcare. So many reasons for we all to get motivated to become stronger, healthier. Thank you.